Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is your show, America. Thank you for joining us. Open phones as we talk about your life and your money. Merry Christmas to you. The phone number is 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. Leanne is in Elkhart, Indiana. Hi, Leanne. How are you?
Good. How are you, Dave? Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Well, my husband and I have been doing the envelope system for over 20 years now, and it has worked wonderful for us. My question is on step 3. We have 2 separate accounts, a checking account where we put things that we pay, weekly or monthly, the cash in there. Then we have our envelopes, which we pay cash for, groceries, things like that. And we have a separate checking savings account that we put money into for things that we don't pay on a regular basis. Things like life insurance or car insurance, gifts, dentist bills, doctor bills, things like that.
Okay.
We have it ranges between $13,000 and $16,000, depending on what time of the year it is. Is that considered the emergency fund, or would that be considered part of your budget?
If it's saving up to pay an annual expense as part of your budget, that's not an emergency. And you should keep a separate savings account with 3 to 6 months of expenses set aside for emergencies only. Okay. Emergencies are, by definition, unexpected events.
So on top of the $13,000 to $16,000 for
you have that much in annual expenses coming up?
Yes.
That money's all got a name on it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. On top of that, then you should have an emergency fund. Okay.
We've put, like you said, a name on absolutely everything that we possibly could that would come up. We've got home repairs, maintenance, things like that.
How much do you have set aside for home repairs and maintenance?
I think we do $100 a month.
Okay. Do you spend $1,200 a year on that?
We did this year.
Okay.
Yes.
Then that's budgeting for expenses. Yeah.
Yes.
That's fine. I mean, the thing is, I don't want that $13,000 laying around as a slush fund. I want those dollars all to be, that's the insurance bill that's coming in October. That's the Christmas is coming in December. And it's all in there, and you just got it broken down with a name on each of the things, and that's all fine. No issue with that at all. But I don't want to accidentally that to turn into just a slush fund that doesn't have names to it. But separate from that, yes, you need an emergency fund. Because let's say you had a $10,000 emergency and you spent $10,000 of your $13,000. Well, then how are you going to pay those bills when they come to you? You just spent your money. So, that money is already spent. It's just not left your account yet. And that's what you've got to be careful of. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Nothing counters a dreary day like the warmth of drapery panels from Blinds.com. Panels add good looks and warmth to your windows, and Blinds.com has them affordably priced. Don't let the dreary days of winter get you down. Check out Blinds.com. Eric's in Indiana says, all of our debts are very old and in collections, but we are now on track financially, and we're looking to repay them. We pulled our free credit reports and identified our debts. There are multiple debts held by the same collection agency. Do we settle per debt or per agency? Per debt. Because that collection agency represents, if there's 5 different debts with different companies, they represent 5 different companies. And so they're not going to settle them as one lump and then try to figure out who gets what. So no, each one's individual. It just happens to be you're going to spend a lot of time on the phone with one group of unfriendly people instead of 5 different groups of unfriendly people. All right, Deron is with us in Washington, D.C. Is it Deron? Is that correct?
That's correct, Dave. Merry Christmas to you.
You too. How can I help today?
Got a question for you. I'm refinancing a home, contacted the lender last week to ask should I put a stop payment on the check for my mortgage payment since we were going to closing this week. So he said yes. I contacted the bank, put the stop payment in, charged $29. And today I get a text message come across the phone and said, hey, your account is negative $2,000 because the check went through. So I am wondering, I contacted the bank and the lady said, oh, there's, the check's been through, it's been cleared, there's nothing you can do about it. So I was wanting to get your advice on,
why did they say they didn't stop the payment?
She looked at the notes and said that the rep that I spoke to didn't put it through. So it was like it's a $2,400 mistake that he made.
Yeah, that's a pretty big mistake.
Right.
So that you'll get that money back when the house closes because you paid a payment that'll be credited to you. It's not like it's all lost money or something. The problem is just the interim cash flow bind. So you didn't have enough money in there to pay the account, pay the check anyway? Wait a minute, did the check bounce?
It didn't bounce. They cleared the check.
But then they just put you into overdraft.
Right, and I have the funds in our emergency account that I can transfer the money over.
Yeah.
But before I did that, I just was trying to get some more advice on which route should I take.
Well, it's aggravating. I mean, is this worth changing banks over? It would piss me off.
It really did because this is USAA, and I've been with them, since like 1990.
Well, for sure, they're not charging me any fees.
Well, they told me no, we won't charge you any fees for this, but they're leaving the account in the negative.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm gonna move it. You got to move enough money over to cover it. Boy, she's right about that. It's water under the bridge now, and it's not like it's lost money because you'll get the money back at the closing when you pay that loan off. It's not like the money's gone away forever, but you'll get credit at the closing for the money. So yeah, I'm gonna move it over and cover it. I'm probably gonna close my account over something like that though. And the rep just didn't write it down. I mean, come on.
Right. Yeah. Very upsetting.
Yeah, it really is. But there's not much that can be done. They can't get the money back. I mean, they can't call them up and go, oh, we're supposed to start payment. You have to send us that money back. That won't work. So the money's gone. You not temporarily. It's gone out the door. The cow's out of the barn. So you just got to decide if you want to continue to bank there or not. That's up to you. I don't know if I'd change over that or not. It just depends on their attitude and how they dealt with it. For sure, I'm not paying them a dime in freaking fees for their mistake. But yeah, you need to move money into that account and get it out of overdraft. Ouch! What a pain in the butt. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM is San Bernardino Strong.
Tired of spending too much money on an ad and then trying to find your ad in the newspaper, buried among hundreds, even thousands of other ads? Isn't it time you got a great deal when you were trying to sell that car, that dining room set, that refrigerator, or offering your handyman services? Now you can in the Nickel Shopper. For as little as $7.50 per week, your ad can be seen by thousands of eyeballs in the high desert, and they're getting the Nickel Shopper for free. Call today to place your ad in the Nickel Shopper, 760-646-3654, or go to thenickelshopper.com for all the details, 760-646-3654. The Nickel Shopper, now in the IE.
I would absolutely recommend Churchill Mortgage to any of my friends, family, coworkers. They treated me like as if I was buying $1 million home, and that just made such a huge difference, knowing that I'm more around the $100,000 range than $1 million, but yet the treatment was just very respectful and very professional.
Call Churchill Mortgage today or visit us online to discover why we're the only mortgage company Dave Ramsey has ever endorsed.
This is KCAA.
In AgNet West today,
The World Trade Organization will officially announce Canada and Mexico to retaliate against the United States country of origin meat labeling later this week. Following a WTO meeting, retaliations could come as early as Friday, but appear more likely to start next week at the earliest. Both countries plan to use the Kcaa process, in that products can be added and removed for tariffs as needed to cause the most political pain, according to a Washington, D.C. lobbying firm. The WTO ruled earlier this month Canada and Mexico can impose $1.01 billion in tariffs because of losses caused by the U.S. Cool Law. Canada and Mexico, in a joint statement, called on Congress to repeal country of origin labeling requirements for beef and pork to avoid retaliation. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said, "We would rather not have to engage in retaliatory measures, but we certainly will stand up for our farmers, stand up for Canadians who have been unfairly addressed and affected by this legislation."
When disease strikes, defend your yields with Fungifite. Fungifite is a fast-acting fungicide that's proven to suppress and control more than 25 diseases before they damage yields. With flexible application timing and multiple modes of action, you can be sure your crops won't just survive in heavy rains, they will thrive. This year, make sure moisture is no match for yields. Apply Fungifite today. Learn more at VLSCI.com. Important, always read and follow label use directions.
We are farmers. We are all-day long doers. Agriculture isn't just our industry, it's our way of life. We invest in equipment that's long-lasting, economical, and environmentally conscious because that's what it takes to do the job right. We're all about greater horsepower and cleaner emissions, new implements, more attachments, better technology, and dependable engineering. For all your ag equipment needs, we are Kubota.
I'm Sabrina Hill for AgNetWest.com.
Kcaa invites you to join Dr. Donald Gabriel Jolly for What's It All About. He's never without words.
I have an opinion about everything.
He talks about everything.
You can say, I love you, and be fired by the power of the crotch instead of the real meaning of love. You have an illness. It is called terminal acute hornitis.
Join Dr. Jolly for What's It All About? 3 o'clock Wednesday afternoon on Kcaa 1050 AM.
Thanks for joining us, America. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. We're glad you are here. Merry Christmas to you. Rachel is in New York. Hey, Rachel, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi. I was wondering if, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks for taking my call. I was wondering how I would protect a second home that my husband, it's over in his name now. His grandparents have life rights to it. But, from litigation, like if we were to be sued or anything, is there any way to protect that family home, the family farm?
His parents have an estate, have a life estate to it?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And they're still living now. It's his grandparents.
Uh-huh. And what is the farm worth?
Probably $400,000, maybe more. It's signed up in mineral rights, of course, and then they're drilling gas. So, I don't know how they would. The land and so forth as it is now is probably easily $400,000, but I don't know with the mineral rights if it's going to be worth more.
Mm-hmm. And your husband is the sole is the current owner, and his grandparents have a life estate. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. You'd have to see an attorney about the law in that particular state as to whether or not he can retitle it while they're still alive. I'm not sure he can. The only way to protect it, other than just liability insurance or something like that, would be to either put it into a trust or to put it into an LLC. You can, a lot of the, if you guys own an LLC and you get sued, they can come after the LLC. If you own a trust, they can come after the trust. It's very difficult to completely protect something from all forms of litigation. Are you anticipating litigation?
No, we didn't want to lose the farm to anything.
Yeah.
We'd rather lose the residence that we live in now versus the farm.
Yeah.
In the future, we're going to sell where we live now. We bought a little bit of land off the edge of the land they have that we own now, and so we would rather sell this home that we live in versus losing the family estate.
Yeah. If you get personally sued, any assets you have, and if the asset is an LLC or the asset is a piece of ground, either an LLC that owns a piece of ground, they can take the LLC, which gives them the ground, or I mean, if you don't have an LLC, they can just take any assets you have that are in your name. It's possible you can build a trust in a state to keep it independent from litigation, but you'd have to see an attorney for that. I'm not one, and I don't know. There are very few things that completely protect you from, just general litigation.
Okay.
Are you guys in a business of some kind where you think you might get sued?
Well, we have a business, and my husband drives trucks, so I don't know. I know he had said, if he hits somebody with his truck.
Yeah, that's when you would want to carry a large liability policy.
Right.
And you can get a liability umbrella policy, which will help take a lot of the risk off on something like that. So you try to find the point of the risk and address that rather than just constantly sheltering things. Now, I use LLCs to hold real estate, and I don't put too much real estate in an LLC. So if something happens on one of those pieces of ground, the only thing they could take would be the things that thing owns. But if somebody came after me personally, then anything that I own, including LLCs, they technically could get. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you could check on a trust, but I think more than anything, what I would be doing there is I'd be making sure you pick up a liability umbrella policy, like, a huge one, several million. You can get $1 million usually. He's driving a truck, so it might be a little different, but you can usually get $1 million for like a couple $100 a year as a liability umbrella policy. Additional liability insurance is what that amounts to. Chris is with us in Columbus, Ohio. Hi, Chris. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Thanks, Dave. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. How can I help?
I got a two-part question. A few years ago, I wrapped some money up in a variable annuity. I'm not really understanding how it worked. I waited until the withdrawal time expired, and I was hoping to get it out this year.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to have a 6% base and then be invested in mutual funds that were supposed to possibly do better than that, which, of course, the choices were horrible. They didn't do better than that. Then with the 3% fees, it ended up not doing hardly anything on a cash value.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to pull the cash value out, but as it turns out, this 6% that was supposed to be there, which is like $43,000 now, if I pull the cash out, which is $189,000, then that $43,000 just kind of magically disappears.
If you don't stay in so many years, right?
Well, I've been in the 4 years, but basically the 6%, I finally found it was never actually a cash amount. It's only a death benefit or an income benefit. It was never actually a value. So if I stay until the end and then take it as a death benefit, well, I won't take it as a death benefit.
Right.
But if somebody takes it as a death benefit, then it would
so they did not give you a real interest rate floor or return floor then. They just gave it only a death benefit.
Correct.
Or, staying to the end. What's staying to the end to mean other than dying?
That or if I annuitize it.
Oh, if you take it as income. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you really didn't get the benefit at all. So you've just had a really bad investment. And the only question is, do you want to stay in that?
Right.
And the answer is no.
Okay. And then my second part was, then what do I do? I mean, I am maxing out my 401, and we started our Roth this year and last year. So those are full, and I don't know what my options are. I talked to
your home is paid off?
Yes.
Okay, that's very cool. Well, what I do is I buy above my maxed out above my maxed out retirement, and above the fact that I'm 100% debt free, house and everything. I invest in two things: I either buy real estate with cash that I own, or I buy low turnover mutual funds. How old are you?
56.
Okay. The low turnover mutual, I'm 55. The low turnover mutual fund, I really like them because they grow on a capital gains basis, meaning that I don't pay any taxes on the growth much, very little. Only the turnover amount, which is less than 5% of the whole value, gets turned over in a year. So you get very little taxes on the bulk of the account until you pull it out. And so if you put a couple $100,000 in something and it grows to $300,000 from 200, you don't pay taxes on that $100,000 in growth until you pull it out. And when you do pull it out, it's at capital gains rate, not at ordinary income rate.
Gotcha.
And it's completely liquid.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And it's completely liquid. So I like low turnover mutual funds. You can get them from one of our endorsed local providers, or an easy way to book a low turnover mutual fund is just get an S&P 500 index fund. Almost all of those are very low turnover. So I look for the turnover ratio, and that's how you can make that decision. I park money in there, and then even when I'm saving up to buy a piece of real estate, if I'm looking, I'm just saying, okay, I don't have enough, there's only $50,000 going in there today, I'm not going to buy a $50,000 property, so I'm waiting till I put enough in there. And so I just use them as long-term savings accounts, in a sense, to build up my the account in order to buy a piece of real estate with it. Usually is what I end up doing, but it's okay to park a bunch in there. But because it's just growing without them selling the stocks inside of it very often. That's the turnover ratio. If it's a 4% turnover ratio, it means it sells 4% of the value of the thing each year, and only the growth on that is subject to taxes. And so you'll pay taxes on that portion only each year. And so it's a very tax-efficient way because it's taxed at capital gains rate as long as you leave it alone at least a year, and it's taxed at lower than your ordinary income rate, and you don't pay taxes on it like a capital gain situation until you sell it. So growth, you don't pay taxes on anything until you sell it, if you're in that kind of a setting. So it's a cool way to do it. It's very efficient. I like it, and it's low on fees too. Thanks for the call, man. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Kcaa Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley.
Here's the latest. I'm Doug Parrish. The Los Angeles Chief of Police is addressing some of the questions that have been raised on whether it was necessary to close LA's public schools today.
All of us make tough choices. These communities, our community, Southern California, has been through a lot. Should we risk putting our children through the same?
More than 700,000 students were affected by the decision to close schools today. Meanwhile, police in New York City are investigating what they call a hoax threat made against public schools in the Big Apple. Police Commissioner Bill Bratton says it's a similar threat to the one that prompted LA schools to close. The schools in New York remain open, however. The last Republican presidential debate of the year is tonight. The top 9 candidates will be on stage in Las Vegas on CNN. Donald Trump will share the stage with Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, Ben Carson, Jeb Bush, Carly Fiorina, John Kasich, Chris Christie, and Rand Paul. You're listening to the latest from 24/7 News. Jury deliberations in the trial of a Baltimore police officer charged in the death of Freddie Gray are continuing for the second day today. The jury is considering charges of involuntary manslaughter, second-degree assault, reckless endangerment, and misconduct against Baltimore officer William Porter. Hundreds of flights in and out of Denver are either delayed or canceled today because of a big snowstorm. Denver International Airport has gotten 5 inches of snow so far, and another 3 to 5 inches are expected by this afternoon. Over 300 flights in and out of Denver were canceled completely, and hundreds more are delayed. Back east, it isn't quite winter, and the forecast says winter isn't even close. Freakishly warm weather continues to break records up and down the East Coast. Forecasters say things will cool down by the weekend, but they say more warm weather will be on tap just in time for Christmas. I'm Doug Parrish.
It's time for the KCAA Community Calendar, brought to you exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools. The clear mission of Learn for Life is to motivate and mentor students who have dropped out of school and provide them with the personalized education and technical training necessary to advance their lives.
Here's a look at the KCAA Community Calendar. I'm Di Rice. This December, visitors at the Orange Empire Railway Museum will have the opportunity to embark upon a magical train ride to the North Pole and visit Santa Claus at his workshop. Along the way, passengers can enjoy Christmas jingles, holiday trivia games, and storytelling with the elves. Upon arrival, they'll be greeted by Santa himself. Then, at Santa's North Pole workshop, guests can visit with Santa and Mrs. Claus, take photos, play on Thomas play tables, and do various craft activities, as well as enjoy refreshments. Ticket prices are $10 for ages 2 through 11 and $15 for ages 12 and up. The Orange Empire Railway Museum is giving away a number of free tickets at Facebook.com/Orange Empire Railway Museum and Instagram at Instagram.com/Orange Empire Railway Museum. However, seats are filling up fast, and it's strongly suggested to book quickly. The holiday event will take place Fridays through Sundays, beginning December 4th through December 20th. Call for North Pole train ride times at 951-943-3020 or visit OERM.org for the Orange Empire Railway Museum in Paris. And that's a look at the KCAA Community Calendar.
The KCAA Community Calendar is presented exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools where students can complete their education on a part-time basis. To find a resource center nearest you, call 1-877-360-LEARN or visit Learn for Life online at learn4life.org.
What have I learned so far? I've learned that there is no one path that's right for everyone. I've learned that without my high school diploma, I can only do so much. My options were limited. I found a free personalized learning program with Learn for Life that is a flexible schedule so I could keep my job while earning my high school diploma. I found new career training opportunities that would jumpstart my future. What have I learned so far? I've learned that I can change my life.
Are you 14 to 19 years old and looking for a free high school diploma program with flexible meeting times? This program allows you to keep your job or important family responsibilities while earning your high school diploma. If you've fallen behind on credits or dropped out of school completely, get back on track with free tutoring, a caring faculty, and one-on-one attention. For more information on how to reach your graduation goal, visit learnforlife.org. That's LEARN4LIFE.org. Or enroll today by calling 877-360-LEARN. That's 877-360-LEARN.
For those of you traveling by air to celebrate this holiday season, LA Ontario International Airport wants you and your family to have a fun and safe trip. For your convenience,
remember, TSA travel rules are for your safety and those of others. LA Ontario International Airport reminds you to arrive early and check with your airlines for flight delays or cancellations.
ONT offers 62 daily flights to 15 nonstop western cities. This year, Santa brings your airport the Pause Pet Assisting with Smiles stress relief program. So, make sure to stop and pause a while, then sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight. For more airport information, please visit us at lawa.org.
KCAA, 1050 AM and 106.5 FM are San Bernardino strong.
Thanks for joining us, America. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Mike is with us in Spokane, Washington. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good, Dave. How are you doing? And Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you. How can I help?
Well, I had some questions about some patents.
Okay.
And how to acquire them. I built and designed and engineered a generator that runs indefinitely without adding fuel to it. And I've had a prototype running now for about 6 months, and I'm at the point now to where I want to try to get some patents and maybe market this.
Sounds good.
So
your question is about how to get a patent then?
How to get a patent and, to keep my design and all that protected until, that patent goes through and how that works.
Okay. I am not a patents expert, Mike. I do know there's a couple of things floating around in that space to avoid. One is sometimes people are sold a line of goods that somehow you hire a patent attorney and spend $250,000 to get a patent. I do know that's not necessary. Don't do that. And there's also a thing running around that is kind of one of these cable TV type things. Where people, you can give them like $10,000 up front, and then they'll get the patent, and then they also will claim to help you distribute the product, help you create a distribution and a marketing plan, and you will want to stay away from that one-size-fits-all turnkey supposed deal because it almost never works out that way. So what would I do, since I don't know a lot about a patent other than those two things to stay away from? I would jump on immediately and just start jumping on the government websites, the .gov sites, and finding out what the process is to submit for a patent. And I would seek a local attorney that has some patent expertise in the area, call a couple of law firms and sit down and interview them, and talk to 2 or 3 in your area and say, okay, what does it take to create a patent, and how long does it take, and how much in legal fees am I looking at? One thing we do a lot of around here that's similar is copywriting and trademarking. And that's different than patenting. But a federal trademark, we have a trademarking attorney that we use. Our general counsel in-house works with the trademarking attorney. And those trademarks in legal fees will usually end up costing us in the $3,000, $4,000 range, okay, to get a federal trademark. And that would be something like, say, okay, Entree Leadership. I own the federal trademark on that name, and it can't be used by anyone else. So it's a patent of a name of sorts. So that kind of gives you an idea. Then copyrights, federal copyrights, registering a book or a set of curriculum or something, it's very inexpensive, just a few dollars per item. You can get a copyright on a book, I forget, it's less than $100. To go ahead and get that, a federal copyright on something. It's just a matter of doing it. And so patents are more expensive than either one of those two. The process is more expensive. It's more lengthy and more detailed than either a trademark or a copyright. I do know that much, but I don't know how much. But I think you're probably looking, $10,000 or less that you ought to be able to walk that through yourself with maybe some legal help after you interview some people. That's how I would have to go about it because I'm not an expert.
Okay. Yeah, it's something that I'd like to get out into the general public. It's pretty revolutionary, being able to power your house without putting fuel in a generator.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. But yeah, definitely what I would do is to try to get it locked up before you start doing some kind of marketing and get the detail, the uniqueness of this tied up before you take it. And if you give it a name, give the generator a name, then you're going to want to get that name, get the URL, the website bought for that name before you go public, and you'll want to trademark the name as well. So you're going to spend a few $1,000s here or there before you go to market with something like this. So, hey man, good question. Congratulations on putting something like that together. Christine is in Cincinnati. Hi, Christine. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I am called to find out. I own this property. I had purchased way back in 2002. I had purchased it cash, but then it was very old and needed a lot of work. But it's like a mixed-use property, and I live on the top floor, and I'm trying to open a coffee shop at the bottom. And I almost finished paying off it. I had first purchased a cash, but then I had to take a loan to renovate it. And I'm almost finished paying for it. I owe right now just $27,000 to finish paying it off, and I should get that done by next year. But my question is, do I go back and take another $125,000 what it costs to redo the downstairs and open it up.
You're going to spend $125,000 on a coffee shop?
Yeah. Well, I own the property, so there's a lot of renovations. It's very old.
But, I mean, if you spend that kind of money, you're not going to get that much money back out of a coffee shop unless you have a very unusual coffee shop.
Yeah.
That's a lot of $5 coffees.
Yeah, but it's like a bakery as well. It's going to sell baked goods and also some lunch and stuff like that.
You know, let's pretend you had the cash to do it. $120,000, and you asked me that. I would tell you need to lay out your business plan on how much in baked goods and how much coffee you got to sell, minus your cost of operations, which would be your labor, which gives you your net profit. And how long is it going to take you to recoup $120,000? I don't think that's going to make sense. I think it's going to take you 20 years to get your money back.
Well, it's like a 3,500 square footage downstairs, and I still have to renovate it and do.
Okay, well, you do whatever you want to do, darling. It's your business. I mean, you can. But you ask me, would I borrow money, $120,000 to open a coffee shop? Never. Would I spend $120,000 to open a coffee shop? Only if I had done business projections that showed me I was going to get the $120,000 back. That's the only thing I would do. That's all I'm saying. Matt is in Springfield. Hey, Matt, how are you?
I'm doing real good. Thanks for taking my call, Dave. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas. How can I help?
Well, my wife and I just welcomed our first child about a month ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that. A week prior to that, we lost one of our cars due to a run with a deer. We got a good check on that insurance check because we maintained full coverage on an older car, as you suggest, so I appreciate that.
So how much did you get?
We got about, I think $3,600. It was a 2003 model vehicle with like 200,000 miles on it, so it was on its last legs as it was. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
My wife's home with the child right now. She'll be on leave until February, so we don't really have an immediate need for a car. I've got one, and I can get back and forth to work and get her where she needs to go as it is. We've got $44,000 in savings. We've got no debt other than our house. We'll have a little bit of hospital bills to pay for the wife and the little one. We're estimating those to be around $4,000 to $5,000 because everyone's healthy and came out of everything okay. We did a lot of research and decided on a certain make and model that'll work best for us, and we can get one for around $14,000 to $15,000. But the one that we want, again, want, not need, is the same model but with more bells and whistles. It's going to be closer to $20,000. Are we in a position to buy a $20,000 car, and how much should we spend on a car? Just trying not to set ourselves too far back over a car.
Well, you got to have the cash to spend, number one, above your emergency fund.
Okay.
The $44,000 include your emergency fund?
It does, yes,
How much of that is your emergency fund?
Well, our annual household income is about $110,000, so I'm guessing probably, I think we've got it at $18,000 right now.
Okay. So if we set $20,000 aside and we set $4,000 aside for hospital bills, that leaves you $20,000 for a car, right?
I think so, yes, sir.
And as long as your car is under half your annual income, all your cars added together, everything with a motor that you own added together is less than half your annual income, I'm okay with it. The trick is, how much do you want to tie up in things that are going down in value? That does not sound like it's in the crazy zone to me. It sounds like it's very doable and very reasonable. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
If you're a business owner, retiree, or you are about to retire, then you can't afford to miss an episode of Safe Money Talk with Rick Lewag. Safe Money Talk is the show that bypasses the hype and hysteria and gives you the straight talk about threats to your life savings and how to build your fortress against threats such as higher taxes, inflation, and healthcare costs. Every Tuesday night from 6 to 7, author and financial expert Rick Lewag will discuss the issues that have the potential to impact your retirement and business income. Starting at 6 p.m. only on Kcaa.
I literally started my business on a card table in my living room. In those days, I was the one responsible for keeping track of my expenses. And if I wanted my family to eat, I had to make sure the money was coming in. I was a true entrepreneur. Nowadays, I know there's a better way. It's called FreshBooks, and I'm a big fan of what they do. FreshBooks is an online software and mobile app that allows you to track your time, capture expenses, and create professional invoices. It's easy and it works. Find out what over 5 million entrepreneurs and small business owners just like you have already discovered. You can try it free today at getfreshbooks.com. Just enter the Dave Ramsey Show under How Did You Hear About Us for your free 30-day trial. That's getfreshbooks.com. And remember, enter the Dave Ramsey Show to get started today.
This is KCAA.
And now it's time for another Support San Bernardino Spotlight.
Hi, my name is George Hahn. I am the Senior Minister at the Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. In the next few weeks, we would like to support San Bernardino by highlighting the outstanding things about our city. Today's program features Reverend Irma Forward.
We are the Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire, teaching science of mind, a spiritual philosophy which empowers the individual to express creatively and to live a successful life. We practice affirmative prayer based on the teachings of Ernest Holmes. Sunday services begin at 10 a.m. During the week, we offer classes as an adjunct to Sunday services. These classes present a basic idea for successful living. On Saturday, December 5th, there is a family Christmas concert featuring renowned guitarist Rob Reynolds and family. On December 21st, there is a candlelight service with traditional holiday music. Julie Edwards Matanga will lead the Christmas bells. We look forward to serving you and meeting your spiritual needs.
Thank you, Reverend Irma. This program was underwritten by Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. If you would like information about today's program, please contact me, Reverend George, by calling 909-883-7171. That's 909-883-7171.
KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM is San Bernardino Strong.
It's amazing how you can speak right to my heart. Without saying a word, you can light up the dark.
Thank you for joining us, America. We're so glad you are with us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You know, we're so excited about my friend Chris Hogan's new book, Retire Inspired. Retirement has been one of the most requested topics that on the show, and we now have the guide to get you started and walk you through every step along the way. Now, Chris will teach you how to plan for your dream retirement, whether you're 25 or whether you're 55. And, you know, this guy knows what he's doing. And we're offering an incredible deal, and it's just got a few days left on it, really, on his new book. Retire Inspired comes out January the 11th, which is just a few days away. Now, for only $19.99, you can get the book. And right now, as a pre-sale, up until January 11th, you'll get over $70 worth of free bonus items to go with the book. Now, you can go online and get the book at Amazon, at BarnesandNoble.com, DaveRamsey.com. You can get the book wherever you want. Retire Inspired. And then come to our website at DaveRamsey.com or RetireInspiredBook.com, and you can pre-order the book instantly there, the bonus items online. But if you don't get the book there, if you can buy it like Amazon, that's fine. Come over to our site with the proof of purchase, and then we'll set you up with the free $70 worth of stuff added to it. If you purchase it and you enter this prior to January the 11th. Now, you get the Retire Inspired book, of course. You're also going to, on January the 11th, we're going to send you the Retire Inspired ebook and the digital audio book voiced by Chris. And if you've ever heard Chris's voice, you know that's going to be fun to listen to. Listen to that guy read the phone book. an all-new video from Chris. We'll send that out to you immediately, called Investing Basics, the Guide to Retirement Budgeting ebook, and immediately we also will send you the ebook version of my latest book, The Legacy Journey, that I wrote about wealth. And so, hey guys, get this book. It's called Retire Inspired. And Chris will be out on the road signing them all over America, doing a big, big book tour beginning January the 11th. And he and I will be in Chicago and Austin doing the Smart Money Tour events. He'll do Retire Inspired events in Oklahoma City, Atlanta, Anderson, South Carolina at Perry Noble's place, at Houston, Texas, Phoenix, and Sacramento, all in the month of January. So you don't want to miss this out. You don't want to miss this, guys. I mean, no, Oklahoma City was December. I'm sorry, I goofed that up. But the rest of them, that's it, man. So you got to sign up for one of these events. Come out and see us. Get this book on a pre-sale. This is a movement that is happening. This whole retirement thing where people are waking up. You don't want to miss out on this. Retire Inspired by Chris Hogan. Brandon is with us in Los Angeles. Hey, Brandon, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Not much. I wanted to get your opinion on something. I'm on baby step 2, gone through FPU. Have a car that I purchased last year. Have about $17,500 left on it. I purchased the extended warranty at that time, which I'm sort of backpedaling on a little bit. I can cancel it and get about $1,500 back on it.
I would.
Just kind of. You would?
Yes.
I'm just kind of concerned. I have the $1,000, but I'm concerned if, electrical something goes out that costs $5,000, I'm not going to be able to pay for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. But the $1,500, extended car warranties are a complete ripoff. Less than 12% of what you pay for them on average actually goes to the statistical probability of something breaking. The rest of it goes to commissions and profit for them. And so on average, what that thing covers would be less than $200 worth.
Okay. Do you think I should just take that amount and just apply it right back to the loan, or try to take that and save it aside?
I would take that amount and do wherever you are on your baby steps. You said you had $1,000 saved, and so it sounds like you're in baby step 2, paying off debts, right?
Yeah.
So what is your smallest current debt?
I have some personal stuff like mom and grandpa, but this one's probably the next one. I only have this and that.
So how much do you owe the personal debts?
About $12,000.
And then this is $17,000.
Correct.
Okay. Well, the smallest debts are the ones you should be working on, unless they're going to forgive those debts. But if they expect to be paid, then I'm going to put them right there in line, and let's start working on them. Send them the $1,500. Whoever's up next. You got $12,000 on 2 different loans, right?
No, $12,000 for one, $1,000 for one person, and about $10,000 for the other.
Oh, okay. Well, good. We can knock out the one person then.
Okay.
And then let's get after the 10, and then let's get after the 17. The fact that they're personal loans does not change their order in the Bible. In the Bible, it does not change their order in the debt snowball, which is kind of like the Bible, but not at all. Yeah, you knock them out unless they're going to forgive the loans. Now, if they're not going to forgive them, they expect to be paid. Then you treat them just like any other debt and put them right there in the debt snowball and work your way right through it. Yeah, Stephanie is with us. Stephanie's in Raleigh. Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So we are in baby step 2, and we are at the end of baby step 2. We have a very old air conditioning unit, and we kind of expect it to go at any time. So we have been setting aside part of our budget as a replacement fund for that air conditioning unit. But we are now at the end of our debt snowball. We have enough in our air conditioning unit to actually pay off the last of our debts and be debt-free. So our question is, should we go ahead and use what we've been saving up as our air conditioning fund, which is on top of our $1,000 emergency fund, and go ahead and be debt-free?
How much is in the air conditioning fund?
It's about $1,800.
I would pay it off, yes.
And we'll be debt-free once we do that.
And you have all the way until summer to build your emergency fund proper.
Correct.
Because you're not going to be needing your air conditioner for a while.
Right.
And your household income is what?
We're about 85.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd be debt-free today then.
Yay! Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Great job. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Thanks for jumping in and talking to us. Jessica is on Twitter at Dave Ramsey. Why is there so little financial training for real estate agents? I don't know that real estate agents are any different than anybody else. You mean like financial training about personal finance? I mean, they're in the house selling business. They would need to have enough financial training to sell the house or to do that kind of a thing. And there's not any, I mean, most states have some pre-licensing education requirements for real estate, and some of that will involve basic mortgage information. And most states have post-licensing requirements. To maintain your license, you have to have some continuing ed as you go along. But as far as them going into personal financial training, don't think they do that much. And so I suppose the regulators don't feel like they need that information, and I'm not sure they do either. So not sure what your question there is, Jessica, exactly, or why you're having a problem with them on that, but just an idea, something to think about. All right, Ernie follows me also on Twitter. My daughter's 15 and will be working soon. Is there anything I should do to help with taxes and investing today for her future? No. What she's working on as a 15-year-old, more than anything else, is she's learning to work. And the money that she makes is not going to be substantial, nor is it going to substantially change her life. So is there anything I should do to help with taxes and investing today for her future? I mean, no, you don't have to help with taxes. You ought to be investing for her future, like her college, if you're saving money for her to pay for college. But you don't have to do anything because she's going to be taking a job to prepare for that. I mean, they're going to withhold taxes. You're going to file a tax return. The only thing you could do is if you've got some extra money over and above her college and you want to fund a Roth IRA or something along those lines, you could. I did that with our kids, and it makes for a really nice investment. In other words, if they have an earned income, you can file a tax return, and up to their earned income, they can do a Roth IRA. Now, they don't have any money to do a Roth IRA with, so I did the Roth IRA up to their earned income, their entire, the entire time they were minors up through college. And so that gave them a really nice Roth IRA. By the time they got out of college, it was already funded beautifully because they were all working their butts off. That puts this hour of the Dave Ramsey Show in the books. Our thanks to James Childs, our producer. Blake Thompson's our executive producer. Kelly Daniels, our associate producer and phone screener. I am Dave Ramsey, your host, and we'll be back.
Music Changing Lives, Kcaa and Daniels Jewelers are working together to make Christmas brighter for thousands of children in the Inland Empire. Random Act of Kindness is a toy drive